How was the movie? It was bad. How was your exam? It was bad. And what about the new book you picked up? It was not good. Time to get some advanced vocabulary. And yes, there are some fabulous words that we can use instead of bad, like terrible, awful, and horrible. But I will not give you these words. Why? Because they're easy and you probably are already bored of using them. Instead, what I will give you today are 12 advanced expressions and phrases which will make you sound like an advanced English speaker in your daily English casual conversations. So let's get going, and don't forget to press that like button before we begin this video. Hey, this is Chetna and you're watching ChetChat. And yippee, it's a Friday. So here is our brand new video once again with 12 wowtastic words and expressions to say instead of saying the boring "it's bad" to someone. So try to use them this entire week and leave me a comment below. And next Friday, tell me about how you felt about using your brand new vocabulary words. At number 1 is not up to scratch. Use this when you want to say something is not as good as expected. Basically, it's not up to the mark. Example, I'm afraid this product is not up to scratch, Peter. A similar phrase is not up to snuff or not up to the mark. Be careful, it's not up to scratch and not up to the mark. The candidate I interviewed today was not up to scratch. Word number 2 leaves a bad taste in the mouth. Let's say some unpleasant incident happened that left a bad memory for you. You could say, the holiday was good otherwise, but the incident of my wallet getting stolen left a bad taste in my mouth. Example, you make a friend at school and the first few days you enjoy being with them. But soon you find out that they are lying to you. You can say, the fact that she lied to me left a bad taste in my mouth. And before moving on to word number 3, I want to give a shout out to Moonlight Starix for leaving this super awesome message under my last video, which got so many likes for you. And you know the drill. If you want a shout out in my next video, just leave me a comment below with a hashtag ChetChatters. And now for word number 3, Gimcrack. Let's say you go into a store and you see these very attractive mugs, but as soon as you pick them up, you realize that they are made of cheap quality. Your parents will be very impressed if you tell them that those were Gimcrack mugs. Attractive on the surface, but badly made or of no real or permanent value. That building is a Gimcrack and the construction is unlikely to last beyond 10 years. That product at the teleshopping network is a Gimcrack. Looks nice, but of extremely poor quality. Slipshod. Now, slipshod is something you can use if somebody's work is kind of shoddy and it slipped a bit from the mark and it's not as good as you expected it to be. And you don't want to say it's bad, so you say it's slipshod. Let's say you hired a carpenter and he made a table for you, but it wasn't so good. You can say the carpenter's work had been slipshod. And by the way, if you're also looking for some fabulous words to use instead of using the word good, then check out this video and I'm going to drop a link for you in the description box. The next word is nothing to write home about. Not very interesting or exciting. The museum was nothing to write home about. It had very few exhibits. The next one is rough around the edges. The interns at the news channel are learning, but they are still rough around the edges, which means they're not yet well polished. This is my design for the park, but it's still rough around the edges, but I could show it to you. Another word that you'll find commonly used instead of saying it's bad is second rate. The stuff I bought at the sale was second rate. That didn't last very long. This can be used to describe something that has poor quality. For example, a second-rate movie or a second-rate restaurant. Patchy. If someone's work is good in parts, sometimes they do well and on most other days their work is of poor quality. You can describe them as being patchy, like patches on a wall. It means some parts are okay, some parts are not. The service at the restaurant was patchy. Public transport in this city is patchy. The next word for you is bummer. This is informal for something that depresses, frustrates, or disappoints. For example, not getting a promotion this time was such a bummer. Or getting detention or having to stay back at school was a bummer. Hey, and don't forget to leave me a comment below and tell me which of these words was your favorite. The next one for you is not living up to expectations. For instance, you've heard a lot about a particular restaurant, but when you visit, you find out the food was just about ordinary. Usually, we would end up saying the restaurant was bad or it was not good. But if you want to impress your friends, you can say that the restaurant did not live up to expectations. Not as good as you had expected. Next up, disappointing to say the least. Say you're all charged up to watch the last episode of Game of Thrones and there's so much hype, but at the end of it, you feel it was terrible. You can say it was disappointing to say the least. This means you're being polite by saying disappointing, and actually you felt that it was far worse than disappointing. Not going to set the world on fire. She sings well, but let's be honest, her voice is not going to set the world on fire, which means it's good, but it's not great. You can use this when you're talking about something being kind of average. That new movie, it's not going to set the world on fire for sure. So I hope this video lived up to your expectations, and now go right ahead and press that subscribe button and the big fat thumbs up too. And happy learning!